Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to share my opinion on a question that's really important in our world, especially in our society nowadays. Should free speech ever be controlled in a democracy like Canada? Free speech is one of the hallmarks of a liberal democracy. It enables citizens to have their say, to protest, and to share their ideas as well. But in my opinion, yes, sometimes it has to be limited, especially when it causes huge damages to the other individuals or to our democracy as well. What free speech means in Canada? In Canada, Section 2B of the Charter of Rights and Freedom protects freedom of expression. This means we're allowed to express ourselves through words, actions, and writing, and even art. But Section 1 of the Charter also says that the right may be limited if it's reasonable and justifiable in a free and democratic society. So, while we do have a strong protections for speech in Canada, there are a few restrictions at law, and I think that's a good thing. This addresses Course Learning Requirement 1, which asks that we identify those legal protections and restrictions in liberal democracies. When and why speech needs to be regulated. I will provide you with three instances where I think that it makes sense and where it needs to be controlled in Canada. Number one is hate speech. Racially or religiously motivated hate speech is banned under Section 319 of the Criminal Code. Hate speech has the potential to inflict real harm, violence, bullying, and also discrimination. Limiting hate speech helps safeguard individuals and promotes equality in this society. Number two is threats and harassments. If someone threatens to use violence or harasses someone online, that's not free speech, that's a criminal act. The government both has the power and responsibility to step in and stop that type of speech to safeguard the individual's safety. Number three is misinformation on social media. I think personally, and that's one of the biggest ones, because nowadays this is now an enormous issue. Misinformation spreads very fast on the internet, especially on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter or X, and etc. In these case of electronics, in the case of like elections, pandemics, or maybe even like some news, misinformation can harm our society. This is where course learning requirement 4 bridges the gap. It's urging between the government and the civil society on social media, in my view. The government and tech firms should partner to discount misinformation on promote fact checking and protect our democracy. And what is responsibility in free of speech or free speech? Free speech is not just a right. Personally, I think it's also a responsibility. This is consistent with Course Learning Requirement 6, which addresses civic responsibility in public debate. Whatever we place on the internet has a real world impact. That is the reason that we need to be respectful, well informed, and considerate when posting our opinions. It's arguable that free speech can never be limited. I disagree. Permitting people to disseminate hatred or lies without repercussions actually hurts freedom of others. It mutes voices that must be heard. And in conclusion, so should free speech ever be controlled in Canada? Yes. Only when it needs to be protected to the people, the truth, and our democracy. Today, I believe that freedom of speech is extremely important and ought to be well protected. At the same time, I believe that there must be some reasonable and fair limitations. especially when speech harms people in fact. For example, hate speech or violent speech cannot be completely limitless. I know that my beliefs will change when I'm older and wiser, and that is okay. Learning and growing is what life is all about. But I'm at a moment in time, it seems to me that freedom and safety do not have to be enemies. If individuals will speak responsible and respectfully, I believe we can have a free and safe society in the free speech. Thank you very much.